Hello
Hi, welcome
to the Women Who Create podcast.
with me, Amy Phipps.
And me, Debbie Dudar.
Hi.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on our very first foray into podcasting.
And
Videoing
casting.
Our faces. So if you're not into listening to podcasts and you love faces, you can see our faces on YouTube anytime. It's
Yeah.
going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how much a time suck creating a podcast is.
Yeah, you might not have realised this is our first one unless we'd told you because it's so smooth now. However,
we've been doing this for a while now and trying to get this together. So thank you very much for joining us. Please don't run away. Please, we're going to be here for the next kind of 30 minutes to 40 minutes.
depending on how it goes.
Depending on how it goes. Might just be 2 seconds longer. Talking about creative women.
Yeah.
Building businesses. And kind of sharing hints and tips that we've got along the way.
Yeah.
And in the future,
We'll be bringing other people on to do the same. And bringing other angles and perspectives. And we would also like to ask you, our dear listeners,
hello.
to contribute with any ideas or suggestions. But we'll talk about that again later.
Yes, we will talk about that at the end. And as you can tell, that we're an amazing double act, so this is going to be fabulous. We don't have any guests today because this is the first one, so it's just us. But we've got some fantastic ladies lined up for you, and we will be publishing the podcast fortnightly.
On a Friday, did we agree?
On a Friday. One big one, followed by one smaller one, followed by a bigger one, followed by a smaller one. This is how it's going to be. So, Amy, why did we decide to go down this interesting route?
So I think we both love listening to podcasts.
We do,
And
yes.
chatting.
For sure.
And we decided that why not give it a go ourselves because it looked so easy.
Let's just create our own podcast.
We're so good at teaching ourselves these tech skills.
We are. But the other thing is that you run Women Who Create UK, and I work with women in business, helping them promote themselves online, mostly social media. And I also run the Blue Stockings Network for Entrepreneurial Women. So it's safe to say that we're both interested in championing. It's 2:11, everybody. That's a very specific time. We're really interested in championing women in business.
Absolutely. And making connections with those people and furthering our own personal development alongside the people that we meet.
Yes, so we're here to champion you guys and help you build your business. And one of the things that we were going to talk about today is the idea of making space in your business for newness.
Yeah.
And how it feels when you let things go. And kind of change it up a little bit. Because we've both had experiences of that recently.
And that's allowed us to come together also and do this. So that's a really nice way for us to kind of talk a bit more about what we do separately and together.
Exactly. And so you've done this recently. In fact, we are recording this in the wonderful entrepreneurial city of Nottingham, where there are now more lady entrepreneurs than any other city, apart from London. But we won't talk about that because that's where all the cool stuff happens. So we're in Nottingham, but you have not always been here.
No, well, I'm originally from here and moved away to study a textiles degree. I'm rubbish with remembering dates, so
you don't need to remember the dates.
So I did that for 10 years, and that's where I kind of started my business creative. I don't really like using the word entrepreneurial too much.
Just embrace
career. Where I launched Super, which was a craft-based brand with my business bestie and partner. So we had a studio and workshops and all that kind of thing, and then decided to move back to Nottingham. And
so where was this Super HQ?
It was down on the lovely seafront in Brighton. You see the sea out the window.
And now
which was nice.
We are looking over
some grey boxes,
the estate,
eco houses.
But it is called the Meadows, so it sounds pretty beautiful.
There's the river that way.
There is the river that way.
Yeah.
So Brighton, that's a cool place to be.
Yeah, it was super cool.
How was that making that decision to let go of Brighton?
It wasn't that difficult.
Ah, great. Just move on.
Yeah, it was a big financial drain. And so for me, obviously, as somebody who was running my own business and working part-time and having to be able to juggle finances and being able to do what it was that I wanted, it just wasn't working. It's about the same price as London to live in Brighton.
Yes, I know.
So, unfortunately,
I'm also a southerner. Oh, but you're not a southerner.
No,
you're a Midlander.
I'm a Midlander.
So you've gone bow wow,
yeah,
and I've just bounced up.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time as like moving from Brighton, you quit your business that you'd spent ages building up.
So got
that's
here.
Not terrifying.
Well,
it
was a little bit, yes.
Because you put effort into building your business.
Like years. But I think luckily for me, when I got to Nottingham and made loads of connections with really cool people like yourself,
of course,
and it was just the right time. And I think, as we'll get onto a bit later, you kind of get a sense of a feeling when you've grown out of something.
Yeah.
It feels a bit easy to leave something behind, and it feels like a natural progression. So, although I did sit here in this very space going, shit, now what?
What the fuck have I done?
For a little while. Actually, I had already started, planted sown the seeds of Women Who Creates as a blog series on the Super website.
Okay.
And that was a real passion project. So actually, that is then evolved into something much bigger, a whole community, the event that we did in Bristol a couple of weeks ago, and now a podcast. And who knows what,
building, growing, and expanding.
Exactly.
So your very eyes.
I know, yeah. So without getting rid of that other stuff, I would have just been like sticking pom-poms on stuff and going, oh, right, this isn't getting me anywhere.
So sticking pom-poms on things was not such a money spinner in a very expensive place like Brighton. I'm sure you did more than just stick pom-poms.
Yeah, of course.
You keep saying the pom-pom
thing.
The
pom-poms is a big thing.
But I'm sure
I had a series of books out.
A series of books.
And the
studio. You were on Woman's Hour.
That was for this, though.
But they knew you from that.
That is true. So again, that's the thing about connections and making sure that you
keep that going. Yeah. So even if you kind of change up what you do, you can still, those connections never get lost. You kind of can drag them
and I think
to your new metamorphosis.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with you, we were talking about the First Tuesday.
Yes.
Which has been your long-term project.
So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm a bit of a networky person. I'd like to say networking queen, but that sounds totally wanky. So I'll just say networky person, because that definitely sounds like I did an English degree. Networky person.
Did you do an English degree?
Yeah. If they want to stick that in the dictionary this year is the new term. Go for it. You heard it here first. And so alongside the Blue Stockings Network, I've run a thing called First Tuesday for 3 years that meets monthly in Nottingham. And it's it started off as for social enterprises, so businesses that kind of want to do good with their profit. But when I took it over 3 years ago, I said, I don't really care if you're a social enterprise. I wanted it to be for businesses that wanted to do good.
Was it exclusively for women, or was it for everybody?
It's for everybody. It's for anybody who kind of gives a fuck about what they want to do. The profits, essentially. And I've run that for 3 years, and it's great. And we get between kind of 40 and sometimes 70 people in the room at once, and we have different speakers. And it's done wonders for me. People are like, oh, you're the lady who runs First Tuesday. And I've got some work out of it. But I'm moving a lot more to working with women in business, and it wasn't a good fit anymore because it was mostly social enterprises and charities, which is where I started my career. And so I am letting it go tonight.
Which I didn't realise until you got here earlier. Now, something that's just come up was, you said that you were doing that for 3 years.
Yeah.
And our studio, Super, we had that for 3 years. So do you think there's maybe a 3-year itch?
Is the magic number.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see if after 3 years of doing this podcast, we're absolutely sick to death of each other and we quit and do something else. Generally, I find that like women that are freelancers get bored quite easily.
Yeah.
Like that's a common theme when I talk to people is that I had loads of jobs, I kept leaving jobs, I left loads of jobs, I've been sacked from loads of jobs. We could do a whole podcast on the various ways that I've managed to get sacked. Yeah, that's coming soon. Maybe
episode 10.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that as entrepreneurial people, even if you don't like the term, we tend to kind of want to shape things up and change things and be dynamic and always be looking forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes something that you've done for ages doesn't quite fit anymore.
No.
But actually, for me, I'm terrible at saying no. Number one, like, so saying no is a terrible thing. So if people are like, will you do this? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm always running around going, I'm busy, I'm really busy.
We're going to do a podcast on
being busy. And I want to do this. I want to do this podcast. And it means that I can reach loads more people and build a community around this podcast. And so it's time to let that go.
Because I think it's fair to say that we've both already been building really nice, authentic, engaging communities online with like our Facebook groups and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is just another way for us to kind of have a more personable connection.
Yes.
And so in that whole letting things go, it's nice to bring in new skills and we're constantly evolving as
constantly evolving
businesses.
Constantly.
Yeah.
The other thing is as well is I was talking to my business coach. Because I think, if you're serious in business, you should be paying somebody to talk to them about that. Is that it's the idea of like, if you carry on doing the stuff that you're doing all the time, you're literally making no space for new things to come into your life.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so by letting go of things that, maybe are all right, then, First Tuesday is wonderful, it's not terrible, but that allows room for other things to come in.
And who knows what the possibilities are. I think that's it, isn't it? It's just...
Well, I'm definitely going to be on 7 figures by this time next year. I mean, isn't that what everybody wants? Like,
that's the magic number.
It's the dream. It used to be 6 figures. Now if you go on Facebook, they're like, do my online course and you will earn 7 figers. Yeah, so I'm letting go. But people on First Tuesday don't know.
So this is a big thing, and this is probably why you're feeling a bit anxious about it, which is probably good, because by the time this goes out, people will know.
Well, no, it's not going live today, is it?
No, but next week.
For sure. Yeah, exactly.
They'll already know.
They might not want to listen to this. They will they're not particularly
Well, this is quite cathartic then, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So I'm going to stand up in front of the room with the microphone and go, this is my last one, everybody.
But you're handing it over to some awesome...
I want
to say awesome babes then.
Fabulous.
I mean, they are lovely ladies.
Women in business. Who run a social enterprise cafe in Nottingham.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it's not a step backwards, it's just to the side.
Yeah, it's a step to the side.
And they're your collaborators, long-term collaborators anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, the ladies that I'm passing First Tuesday on to are long-term collaborators, and we pretty much run the Blue Stockings network together. And it's in that venue. But I think for me... Yeah, letting go is always difficult. And I said to my daughter, who's 9, who loves coming to First Tuesday, you're making a big mistake, Mummy. Aww. It's a big mistake. Because she loves coming and watching me dancing around with a microphone in front of people. But who takes business advice from a 9-year-old anyway?
Aww. She's probably got some real wisdom in there.
I think so, yeah. I think maybe
we'll have her on.
She said, can I come on your podcast,
yeah,
Mummy?
She can.
There might be a lot of talks about cats and dragons.
Probably need more of that in our
lives. So,
making space. Well, really, that's where I am now anyway, because I've got to decide where this whole new project, Women Who Creates, is going to go.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying.
Yes.
Again, you've probably got, you work more with people outside of your own spare room, as we are in now with me.
I do work people outside of your spare room.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. You might see me on the streets sometimes.
I see sometimes. But for me, it's going to be getting out of the room and making people connections instead of like online connections.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary. I've done it obviously with the events and stuff, but
actual networking in real life,
or just bringing people in. You know, you were saying about saying no.
Yes.
For me, it's letting people help. Definitely.
Okay.
Because I'm used to doing everything for myself.
Yes.
And I mastered saying no a few years ago, which you should definitely do. It's really cool.
I'm working
liberating.
No.
But paying a coach is something that I absolutely 100% agree is a must for a business owner.
Yeah.
But when it comes to paying for people to do other stuff to help your business run smoothly and evolving, that's something that I've never done before.
Me neither. Yeah. And I think if you need to scale and grow, then that's at some point you need to take on help. Yeah, I think it's terrifying because for me, like some months I'll make loads of money and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm rich. I should be driving like an Audi and like holidaying in the Bahamas. None of my friends earn this much money. I'm like minted. And then the next month I'll earn hardly any and I'll be like, ow.
I should have saved that.
Well, it's not that. It's just that actually being freelance, it goes up and down, doesn't it? Like, it can be easy to predict. You can predict it, but the idea of pulling somebody in and paying them a bit of your wage and sort of committing to that and not wanting to piss them about as well is kind of, that's like a big hurdle in business, I think.
And also actually looking at the business and saying, right, what am I not very good at that I need to actually just suck it up and realise that actually somebody can do that way better than me.
The problem is I'm really good at everything. So it's what would I pass on because
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just being an idiot. I totally get what you're saying.
It's so it's a financial thing.
Yes.
It's definitely like a growth and safety net thing.
Yeah.
And also it's being really clear on what you want your business to do to be able to go, oh, right, well, that bit can go to so-and-so, that bit can go to so-and-so. And I definitely am not there yet. So I need to do that in order to work out, to make space in this new business to see if it even can make money and how it will make money for me to be able to have it as a sustainable business. Because at the moment, it's not that far yet. It's still so new for me.
Yeah. But I was just thinking the amount of money that I've spent on business coaches and programs and various things on the internet, I probably could have almost paid for somebody to work part-time for me over the past year, because I spent a lot of money kind of scaling up my brain, like my attitude to finances, money, what's achievable, kind of just believing in myself a little bit more and sort
which
of
is invaluable.
Which is invaluable. Yeah, you need to believe in yourself. And actually, when I do my taxes, I'm probably going to shit a brick and think, oh my God, I spent all that cash on various things. And you find the money. I think that's part of it, is when you've committed to things, you just find the money and it's okay. Like the money does come. It's just sort of trusting.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Believing. And again, that's a transfer of energy.
Yep.
Which is amazing. And that also brings in new things as well. And if you hadn't have done that, would you have been able to have this kind of realisation now at this point? Oh, maybe I didn't need to spend all that money. But if you hadn't have done it, would you have been at this point?
No.
Exactly.
So I work with this like fantastic American business coach that charges like, I don't know, £750 for a 2-hour session.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me cry a little bit every time I pay her. But I think my income tripled.
There you go. Amazing. Yeah.
So it worked. Yeah. Thank you very much, Eleanor Collini. You did a wonderful job. So yeah, like it really did work. And what she talks about is money mindset, kind of building your business, feeling more confident. And she looks at things like, sales, like how can you make that sales pitch tighter? And that's all stuff that I've learned. And now I pass on to people when I coach them on promoting their business using social media. So it's kind of like a waterfall of knowledge.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful waterfall of knowledge.
And soon maybe you'll be putting it into an online course so it feeds all the way back in.
Yeah, for sure. But a British style one, not
not
a very British. we're going to be very, very British about doing things.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you start Debbie Doodah in Nottingham? Because earlier we were talking about your previous career in charities and
social enterprises. When I very first started being freelance 4 years ago, I had set up a social enterprise with a lovely lady called Tony, and I'd been helping manage a team and setting up that and getting the marketing in place and building the business. And after about 2 years, I was slightly like a grumpy teenager, like, oh, I just got to do the same stuff month in, month out, like I'm on a hamster wheel. And she came up to me and gave me 2 months' wages and said, leave.
Wow.
In the nicest possible way, because previously I'd had cancer, and she was like, life is too short, you're like a square peg in a round hole, thank you so much for helping me develop this business, but I think you need to go and do something else. Why are you here? You're not enjoying it anymore.
So when you think about making space and letting go, did that come up on your radar as maybe your first instance of
enforced space making, which was fucking terrifying, because I'm a single mum, and me and Robin were just moving into a bigger house that cost more money. I lost my job, like renting this 3-story 4-bedroom house, just thinking, what have I done? But it was okay, it was all right. And actually I started a business called Herd Media. Not Debbie Doodah, because I wanted to be Debbie Doodah, but I thought that sounded a bit stupid and nobody would take me seriously. So I started as Herd Media, and I kind of pretended online that my organisation was bigger than it was.
That old fish!
Yeah! By listing other freelancers, as in, this is my team. They weren't really, they were just sort of people that I sometimes could collaborate with. And I got some really big contracts with like the National Trust and the City Council and stuff like that, and it was great. But when I stood up and said, I'm Debbie and I work for Herd Media, it always felt like I was Debbie and I worked for Herd Media rather than it belonged with me.
Media.
And so I had this massive internal crisis in my brain, and then just thought, Jesus Christ, I'm just going to be Debbie Doodah.
Did you just do that over a matter of days, or
no,
did it take a long time?
Everything takes me a long time of thinking and space, and built a nice website and got some images done and blah, 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 and asked like a million people, what do you think I should do? What's your advice? And I mean, one person tells you one thing and the other person tells you another thing. And part of it's just, I should have just listened to my intuition at the beginning. Because since becoming Debbie Doodah and working with this business coach, my income has gone through the roof compared to what it was before. It's like crazy.
Because you're happy.
Because I'm happy, because I'm authentic, because I can meet people and be online, and they get who I am. Like, it's a really strong brand. So trying to hide behind something to make yourself look bigger than you are is not a good place to be in business. Because you just got to be yourself, and people can see through that a little bit. So that is a bit of a life lesson there. But nobody tells you this stuff when you start working for yourself.
Oh, no.
You're just working it all out for yourself.
As you go, as you make the mistakes, as you learn to say no.
Like a mole.
And that's not to say, like, letting go and even realising that something new is happening to you is that obvious. So, like, with this new business, I just thought, I know that Super wasn't the right fit for me anymore. But it hadn't occurred to me that this little other nugget of something that I was really passionate about, that made me really excited, could be, in the future, could be what my calling, business going forward is. Like, that's cool. But I didn't realise that till I was having a freak out about what it was, why I was letting go of this other thing, like you say, that had been working on for years.
Yeah, I think that's scary. Like, you're like, I just did it and it's fine and I moved up here. But I'm sure there was a little bit of, like, midnight sweats going on.
There's definitely anxiety connected to everything. My poor, my business coach, Els Pontin, hi. She, definitely got a lot of text messages from me and, like, I'm just going to call you later because I'm just crying. And she's like, okay. She's very,
calming.
Very calming, could definitely deal with a cry on the phone situation. That's a good coach.
That's a good coach, yeah.
Coach who is now a friend and a collaborator.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a beautiful story, and hopefully we'll have Els on to talk soon
she's
on the
definitely
podcast.
Up for that. Yeah,
and to get some business coach advice.
And
there was something you said earlier that I wanted to go back to as well, which is this idea of asking for help.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, not even in the way where it's like, I'm going to pay people and I'm going to pay them to do my business, in the way that, I don't know, I'm having a rough day, will you just come around and make dinner for me? Like, to be able to ask your mates to kind of help you out, or can you just do this errand for me? I have a massive headache and I feel really shit. Like, those type of things.
Yeah.
Like, it can be hard for people to ask for help in that way as well, because they feel like they don't want to put up on people.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be needy.
Yeah. And I think also in the early stages of business, a lot of people don't understand what you're doing because maybe you haven't even explained to them what you're doing.
Are we talking about people with jobs?
Yeah,
they don't get it, do they?
But then also, no. No.
What are you doing again?
What? You do what? But that was something really nice. So yesterday I went to Debbie's Blue Stocking Brunch for the first time, which she holds in Nottingham, which was fantastic. And that was really nice for me to go to that for the first time and feel like you were saying, like, okay, I didn't really have a succinct explanation for what Women Who Creates is, like in a nutshell type thing. But I felt really comfortable just being there as Women Who Creates and as a person who feels pretty happy with what they're doing in a room with other women who obviously feel like they're doing the right thing for themselves as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like, is it like in a way confirm that you're doing the right thing?
Yeah,
you can hold your head up and go, this is what I'm doing, and
This
nobody
is what I'm
went,
doing.
what are you doing that for?
What does that mean?
What does it mean? Yeah.
And also it was just lovely conversation. Like, it felt like it was a really nice group of women who we were all adding value to each other. So that was really cool. I don't know if I said that to you earlier. But yeah, and they get it.
Yes.
And I think that comes back to not expecting your family or close friends to necessarily get what it is that you're trying to do, because they're not people who you ultimately are going to be selling to. They're there to support you, but
sometimes they can't even support you that well because they have empathy, but without the understanding, I can give you a cuddle, but I can't really give you any advice. Like, I don't, like, what you're doing is so alien to just going to having a job and getting a salary that it's like, oh, you're crying because it's difficult. Why don't you just go and get a job with a salary? And you're like, no,
it's way harder than going and getting a job with a salary. So have you sounds like you've had experience of that with your family predominantly?
Yeah, I think so I mentioned earlier that I had cancer. So that was the first thing that I realised that you have to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because if you have cancer and you're a single mum, it doesn't really work. So you've got to go to everybody and go, can you help me?
Yeah.
I need people to make me dinner and look after Robin and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I built this, I had a community anyway, I just didn't realise and I wasn't asking. And then when I became freelance, all those people who helped me in that situation were just a bit like, oh, what are you doing this for? Like, I don't know. I think people just were worried that I would get ill again.
Yeah.
By the stress of trying to feed a child and run a massive house on thin air, essentially. We'd just like go and get a job. Like, why are you making life difficult for yourself? Which is why I went and set up Blue Stockings, because I wanted to build a community around me that could support me, and I didn't know anybody. I was just like, I'm just doing this crazy thing and I'm in a box room and I feel a bit mental.
Yeah.
So I went and found
the people,
other women, and I'm not a sexist, but I do really enjoy the company of women, and I think there's something really healing and lovely in being surrounded by lots of gorgeous women that are all having a similar experience.
Yeah. Well,
I
definitely. My business name is
Women.
Yeah,
for sure. And when I advertise my business, it's helping women, promote their business online.
Yeah.
But I still get men who want to work with me, and that's fine. I will work with them.
Yeah, of course. I had a bit of a conundrum. So when I launched the ticket sales for the Women Who Creates weekend in Bristol, somebody had commented on Facebook about, oh, so-and-so who was a guy, and tagged him in, shall we go to this? And I hadn't even thought that men might approach to want to join the weekend.
Yeah.
And luckily
he didn't
pursue it, because I decided that no men allowed. It's just for women. In that same way that I think it would have been a completely different vibe completely.
Yeah, for sure.
And that definitely comes across at any of the like the Blue Stockings events, and even like the craft social that I do in Nottingham. Occasionally there's one lovely guy who comes along, but it is all women, and that's not to say that it's like women's work, but it's definitely a completely, like you say, like a
different vibe,
a different feeling. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think like part of setting up the Blue Stockings, and I'm sure you with like women creators, that I have tried other networking. I've gone to like normal non-gender specific networks, but I found them a little bit soulless. Like, people just wanted to give me their business card and expected me to do business with them without building a relationship with me, and I wanted to build something without wanting to sell anything out of it.
Yes.
Just doing it because I wanted to meet people and I wanted to build a community. And if you end up working with people, then that's great, but it's not the primary reason for you being there. And so it takes away that masculine edge of, we're here to sell stuff. Like, I'm here to sell my business.
Yeah.
I'm Dave.
Because people, if they did eventually then want to buy from you, it's because of
they like
you,
me,
which is amazing,
and they want to work with me, not just because I like have a service. So it was kind of also a kickback of the few networks that I tried and really hadn't enjoyed being in, and found a little bit cringy and a little bit dry.
Yeah, I hadn't really been to any of those since I've been back in Nottingham, but I went to quite a few in Brighton, and I felt completely out of my depth.
Yeah,
and I think that generally things that I feel most relaxed and positive about being part of are smaller groups of people where you can have that like personable, intimate connection with people, and they, for me, are what works.
I want to build that relationship.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, where's the camera? And if you're listening to this and you are not in Nottingham and you can't come to the fabulous Blue Stockings, or you come and you didn't like it, which is fair enough, because there's not things for everybody, don't wait around for somebody to start something, and don't just start your own. Like, that's what I did. And it's a little bit terrifying at first, but you're not going to be the only person in your village who's a woman who's starting a business. No. There'll be other people, and you can build that community around you. And it's about doing it for yourself and not waiting for permission for somebody to say, yes, you're allowed to do this now. So if you're listening to this and the only networks you've gone to are kind of grey suited, manly, dry, or just business card led,
or just a bit too big, and people aren't actually making real connections. Like, if that's not what you're getting from going to these, then you need to scale it down and make your own.
Yeah, and find a nice coffee shop who wants to like host it, or a quiet corner of a pub, and just start connecting people. And the beauty of social media is that you'll be able to quickly connect with people in your local area, which we would never have been able to do before. No. So God loves social media. Yeah. Like, for all its foibles and hatred and hissy fits and all the shit that comes with it, and that kind of like spiral of just seeing, I don't know, the Daily Mail constantly, if that's what you like. Like, it's meant that we can connect with each other.
Yeah, and something that came up with Sarah, who we were speaking to at this event yesterday, who is another business coach, was that
we don't just only know business coaches, though.
No, this is just very specific to the event yesterday. She is somebody who, like many people I know, who have paid to be involved in a big thing online, like a big group, a course, I guess.
It's like it's a big online course.
Online course, and is completely overwhelmed by it. So is feeling like, although she's got all these people in that group that are connected to her, there's no actual authentic connection. So I think what the outcome of that was to take some people, find your tribe within that,
and take them out.
Take them out.
Yeah, because
not as in punch them and knock them out.
online? Is it possible?
Probably.
Just showing the bird, flicking the bird, like, out of here. Yeah, for sure. And like, I think some of those like big, massive online marketing course things, there can be a lot of comparison going on.
Yeah, but not feeling like you've made a mistake by not enjoying it. Or not enjoying it, but you've done it, it's not necessarily working for you, and then getting back to the whole idea of letting something go, let it go, but knowing that you've tried it and you know now that doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
And what can you take away from that?
This is all good advice.
Yeah.
These are like
we should record this.
These are golden nuggets like coming out here. I think we're like almost at the end as well. Yeah. I think we're pretty much hitting our time quota of talking.
Yeah.
So if you've made it this far in the podcast,
the first of the Women Who Creates podcast,
we bow down to you. Thank you very much.
We will be putting some show notes together with any links to any local or national events, projects, programs,
people that we've talked about.
Yeah. Which we will pop underneath the recording on the website. And the website is womenwhocreate.co.uk, and it will probably be /podcast. You'll also be able to find us through iTunes.
You will.
And through Debbie's website.
Through my website, and hopefully Stitcher as well, for those people.
Android people.
Android.
Like us.
Android people. Yeah, exactly. So you can find us in a few ways, and we're going to be publishing these once a fortnight.
Yeah, and as we said, a longer version and then a mini version, which we'd love some input from you guys. So you can email us at hello@womenwhocreate.co.uk.
hello@womenwhocreate.co.uk.
With any queries about anything that we've spoken about, or just to say hello,
or topics or questions that you'd love to hear us prattling on about,
or if you'd like to come and sit with us and have
we'd love you to sit with us,
make you a tea, some lunch maybe.
Some lunch, yeah. We had a very nice lunch, so
we just want to
have fun times with you.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We want to make friends.
Okay, so
yeah, that's it really for this time, and we'll be back in a fortnight.
Okay, thank you very much.
See you.
Bye.